Hello everybody, my name is Derek and thank you so much for joining us right here at SG Model NOOB. NOOB. Alright, so yes, in the previous video, I think there are some of you guys that asked me some really great questions. Yeah. So some questions that I got was from Facebook, Instagram. So if you'd like to follow, yeah, right about here. Okay. And yes, if you haven't checked out the video, do check it out as well. All right. So I will answer all those questions right here today in this video. The questions mainly are like, how did I got myself into this hobby? All right. And what kind of tools do I use, all right, to build the plastic models? And last but not least, how to choose a kit for yourself if you're starting out with this hobby. So I will try to answer all those questions right here today. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get on to it. So the first question was, how did I got myself into plastic modeling or Gunpla building? All right. So I guess it first started out when I watched like Gundam Seed. Yeah, that was at a tender age of 16 years old, umpteen years ago. That's right, I'm a Seed boy, right? Yeah. And anyway, alright, so ever since then, I always wanted to build a Gunpla. Alright, so I think my first kit was a high grade HG from Gundam Age. Right, so that was my very first kit. That time, I didn't even know how to do panel lining. Right, I used a Sharpie to do panel lining. It doesn't fit. All right, please don't do that. All right, you can either use a Gundam marker or the panel lining juice, I like to call it. All right, the enamel paint thing. All right, to do it. So I guess that's that. All right, so next up for question number 2, what kind of tools do I use to build Gunpla? All right, so I guess the most important thing is actually your nipple. All right, so nipple. So for me, I have 2 nipples that I use. All right, first it's this like big kind. All right, big old nipple. All right, I got mine from Tamiya. Right, ayo, need to I will need to clean them up. As you can see, it's a bit dirty. All right, so I got a couple of them. All right, so these two are predominantly the kind that I use for the first cut. All right, first cut from the gate. All right, because they are, well, they are what it is lah. Okay, so these are the first cut nipple. All right, and of course the next step. All right, for the second cut, I will use a single blade nipple. All right, so you can see there are some from like a lot of people like to use a God hand. All right, so God hand single blade nipple. All right, so they give a really nice clean cut. All right, when it comes to removing those nut marks from the gate. All right, so these two, all right, nipples. All right, one for the bigger cut and one for the closer precision cut. All right, it's these two are really important. So I guess if you're starting out, these two things are your best friend. So yeah. All right, but of course you can get by with just one nipple as well. All right, one normal nipple. So you can just cut it and then use a model knife. All right, to slowly splice off the gate. I hope I'm using the correct term. All right, slowly splice off the gate and then sand it. All right, so yes, even if you're using a single blade nipple, you still need to sand them. All right, so yeah, I have a couple of single blade nipple. All right, you only need one. You only need this one. Yeah, this one. All right, so yeah. Why do I have so many? Well, because yeah. Okay, one, it's never too much. All right, so I have like 3 of them. All right, and of course next bit when I mentioned about blades, right? So I have a couple of them. All right, so these are what I like to call X-Acto knives. Okay, so I have 3 of them right here. Why? Redundancy, that's why. Alright, so but when you're handling X-Acto knives, alright, please be really careful, alright, so that you don't cut yourself in the process, alright, X-Acto knives. Okay. Yeah, and of course, like I mentioned, after when you are done with cutting the parts from the gate, right, and then you use your nice got hand, alright, to cut off the top. Alright, you also need to sand down your pieces. Alright, so for sanding, if you are doing like a normal straight build, alright, from the videos that I've watched, alright, they usually start with a 600, alright, 600 sanding sponge or sanding stick, depends on what you like. Alright, so they will go from 600, alright, to 800 to 1000 to 1002. Oops. Alright, and you can actually go even higher. Alright, so what I got is this particular box of sanding kit from Display. Alright, so there are two boxes. Alright, so the one that they have the high range, high fidelity. That's not the right word to use. Alright, so they have the higher grit. What is that called? Higher grit grade. Higher grit grade. I don't know what it's called, right? But yeah, they have a higher grid count. Yeah, that's right. Alright, for higher grid count box. Alright, so you have your 1000 all the way to 2005. 2005 is usually like you're doing it for straight build and you want it to be shiny. Alright, another box, alright, has the slightly smaller number. Alright, so you have your 180 to 200, 180 to 800. For 180 grit, it's really very coarse. Alright, so I wouldn't recommend you to use 180 and 280. Alright, so if you have any use on that, please leave it in the comment down below, because personally I have never ever touched 180. I've touched 280 just to try it out, and I realized that it is too rough on the plastic, and it tends to leave a lot of deep scratches. So I always start off with 400, 600, 800, 1000, 1002, 1005, 2000, 2005. But who am I kidding? I stop at 1005 at times, and I will just use a sanding stick, a fingernail sanding stick to just buff it, alright, and make it shine. Alright, so that is for sanding itself. Alright, of course, I think in the previous video, in the time lapse, you probably see me use something like a metal file. Alright, some people swear by sanding sponge, and some people use metallic sanding file, if I may, alright, to remove the nut marks. Personally, I prefer the sanding file. Alright, so there's a couple of it right here. I have like, yeah, many different variations. As you can see, it get rusty, so you will have to spray some protective coat on it. I didn't for my previous since my previous build, so it turns out to be a little bit rusty right here, but still can use that. Alright, so that's that for filing. Alright, and of course you will need a pair of sharp tweezer, alright, for decals, and I guess that's that. And perhaps a toothbrush that you can buy from anywhere. Alright, to clean off the dirt after you found. Some people, some actually does some washing. All right, they put the parts into like ultrasonic cleaner, all right, to wash it. But let's not scare everybody. Just use a brush and slightly brush it off. All right. Do I use ultrasonic cleaner? Yes. But I lost parts when I was using it. When I was draining the when I was draining the ultrasonic cleaner from the parts from, yeah, you know what I'm saying. All right. So I stopped using them. All right, so I guess these are the parts that you will need, all right, in order for you to do a straight build. All right, one more time. All right, that will be a pair of nipple, all right, a normal nipple, the big one, all right, and a single blade nipple, all right, and X-Acto knives, and your variety of your different sanding sponge. I got mine from Vispe. All right. There are many other brands that carry sanding stick. All right. Like Networks and Friends. So do check them out. All right. And yes, having said that, this video is not sponsored by any way. I'm just sharing with you things that I personally use. All right. So moving on to the next question. All right, so the next question will be, how do I select a kit for myself? All right, so I think to dive into that, one thing that's very important, all right, is to understand what are the different grades that Bandai has got to offer for you. All right, how big, what are the scale and everything. All right, so yes, I think to kickstart, all right, I will bring out my SD. Okay, you lean down there first. All right, I'll bring down the SD. All right, so this is the super deformed. SD means super deformed. It looks super cute. All right, so this is the RX-78 FOO. All right, so this is the moving Gundam that you see in Yokohama. All right, so this is that particular piece, but in SD. So it's really easy to build. All right, and it's cute too. So if you are into cute things, okay, never mind. So if you are into cute things, you can just, yeah, get this. And that offers quite a bit of intricacies as well. If you take a look, all right, you can see the various panel lining. I'll talk about panel lining in just a short bit. All right, and yeah, tons of fun. So once again, if you're into cute things, you can try going for this. Quite cute. All right, but of course, if you are looking for something that is more Gundam-y, all right, then perhaps you will want to try the 7-Eleven Gundam. No, all right, the EG meaning entry grade. All right, so this is an entry grade. The size is 1144 Strike Gundam. All right, but of course it's 7-Eleven. Yeah. Okay. So, so yeah, it comes off like this. This is not painted. All right. This is a straight build. All right. Out of the box, you just cut off the parts. All right, and then file them down, and then yeah, you get this bad boy right here. Put on some decals, do some panel lining, and you'll get this bad boy right about here. So very easy to build. Not much engineering. All right, so very minimal inner frame and everything. All right, so it's quite it's quite a fun size, right? And yeah, beginner friendly as well. All right, you don't need glue to make all this thing. It will just snap nicely like that. All right. Next up, all right. So after EG, of course, we have your high grade. All right, high grade is the one that you saw me build in my previous video. So the difference between high grade and entry grade is number of parts. It's not much of a difference. All right, it's for probably this one is only like 3 plates, but this one has like 6 plates. All right, so with me here I have a 7-Eleven Unicorn Gundam, all right, that is high grade. It's quite easy to build as well, all right, and the size is also 1144. So this is pretty nice entry level Gunpla, I feel. Alright, so EG, HG, you can't go wrong. Alright, so of course there is another one that is at the size of 1144. I don't have it. Alright, that is what we like to call the real grade. Alright, so real grade it's 1144 is the latest line in the entire grades in Gunpla. I don't have it because Derek don't build real grade. My clumsy hands are too big for the delicate pieces of RG. Alright, so perhaps I will talk about RG in a bit. Alright, so next up, of course, after high grade, in terms of area of entry, if you like something bigger, then you will want to check out the master grade. Alright, so this is a once again unicorn Gundam. This is the piece that I got from Odaiba Diversity Gundam base, right? Unicorn Gundam crystal. It's bigger compared to high grade. All right, so I'm just going to put them side by side. All right, it's bigger compared to high grade, and generally I find that it is. This is personal opinion, right? It is more fun to build master grade, all right, because of the inner frame. You can see there's more details, all right, when it comes to master grade itself. So once again, this piece is not painted. All right, I just slap it on straight build. All right, I didn't even do panel lining because it is crystal, right? So everything is like luminescent. So I didn't do panel lining. It's just a straight build, and I just get a top coat done. Right, so top coat. I put a gloss top coat on it. That's why it's like shimmering. Yeah. All right. So this took me from anything between 3 days, all right, to a week to complete. And the piece dropped out. All right. So this is the piece from at the bottom. So it kind of like dropped out. Just step it back, and that's that. All right, and last but not least, that is inside my collection of it's a bit dirty. All right, it's perfect grade Gundam. All right, so you can see how big it is. All right, this is my very first perfect grade Gundam. Once again, it's unicorn Gundam. No, not 7-Eleven, but maybe soon. Alright, anyway, alright, so this is a straight build perfect grade Gundam. I just did some panel lining, red panel lining. Anyway, alright, so red panel lining for the panel lines. Alright, and it's a bit dusty as well. Yeah, so this is a whole ton of fun. Alright, you can see all the engineering that is involved in the entire building of the Gundam. Alright, so you have like a whole ton of inner frame. You build from the inner frame, and then you put on the armor, lots and lots of articulation and possibility. Alright, and it's just a whole ton of fun. This took me slightly more than like 9 months to complete. Alright, and because that time this was my first perfect grade Gundam, I just want to give a big shout out, alright, to one of my friend, Xianzi. If you're watching this, thank you so much for the unicorn Gundam. This is a piece that he bought for me, alright, and it's a monumental piece as well, because this piece actually made it to my wedding. So it was the one that's carrying the ring, right? Yeah. Okay, so alright, so yeah, this piece took me about 9 months to complete, and yeah, tons and tons of fun. So it really depends on what level of skills you are in, alright, and what you like to do. Alright, so yeah, I guess that's that's a general guide on the various different grades of Gundam. Of course, RG. Alright, when it comes to real grade, yeah, I don't like to build real grade. All right, the parts are tiny, and and it's just a whole lot of details. The detail level, some will say that it is comparable to a perfect grade, right? So it's that there is just a lot of details, all right, compressed into one small RG size. All right, so personally, I'm not a big fan, all right, of building RG. Leave a comment down below, I guess, all right, to tell me which is your favorite grade that you like to build. All right, but that's just me. Well, that's just me, right? So you could like RG because of the size and the amount of details that's been crammed in. Yeah, power to you. All right. So yeah, I guess that's a general introduction, all right, to the various grades of Gundam. I think the most important thing when it comes to choosing a Gundam that is fit for you is you have to enjoy the building process. You have to like the end product, right? So for me, I mean, no prizes for anybody that guess what is my favorite Gundam. No prizes, no prizes. Yeah, but if you can write down in the comment, I'll be more than glad to reply you as well. Anyway, all right. So yeah, I personally enjoy, all right, Unicorn Gundam, all right, but the building of Unicorn Gundam, it's a pain in the. Okay, let me just get back. All right, so the building of Unicorn Gundam, it can be quite delicate, especially when you are doing the 报甲. All right, when you are changing it into the destroy mode. All right, so parts tends to fall out, or maybe it's really because of my clumsy fingers. All right, so initially I wanted to pick up the perfectibility MG to show everybody as well, but it is a fragile piece of. Yeah, anyway, all right, so I didn't bring it out. So yeah, it really depends on your like what you like. All right, so I think when it comes to selection of Gunpla, choose the one that you like. All right, but of course, if it is your first Gundam, please don't go for this guy. I mean, if you do, then yeah, power to you. Yeah, power to you. Yeah, so if it's your first time building a Gunpla, perhaps I would suggest a high grade, all right, and then slowly work your way up, all right, to hello, all right, to a perfect grade right here. Yeah. Okay. Last but not least, where can you buy Gunpla from? I carry this with a heavy heart. Alright, because well, once again, I just want to stress this. This channel is not sponsored in any way, right? So yeah, if I offend anybody, please don't kill me. All right. So personally, I get my kit from Japan. No lah, not all, not all. All right. So, but most. All right. So you can find some of the Gundam, right, in P Bandai. All right. So there are some premium Bandai exclusive kit. All right. So well, do check it out as well. Yeah. From time to time. Okay. But of course, if you want it now, like now, straight away, immediately, I want to go to a physical store to take a look at the various collection that they have. There's a store in this is in Singapore, right? For our US folks or for our friends that is overseas, go online lah. Yeah. All right. So in Singapore, if you like to select kits, you can go to Hobby Art Gallery. All right, that it's at somewhere in Sunshine Plaza, not Sun Plaza, Sunshine Plaza. Alright, so that's Hobby Arts Gallery. It's a nice little shop right there. Alright, so that's that. Then of course there is HAW, Hobby Arts Workshop. Hobby Arts at Work, if I'm not wrong. Alright, that is somewhere in MacPherson area. So look for Felix and tell Auntie Joyce I say hi. Yeah, anyway, alright, of course there are also various other stores like VCA Gundam that is also based in MacPherson. There is like Avid Collector that is in Bishan somewhere. Alright, there's Hobby Point in Brass Bazaar Complex. There is Obi Station that is at Jurong East. I'm not sure if they are still there. Yeah, so there are quite a number of hobby shops in Singapore where you can get kits like this. Right, so do support your local hobby stores. But of course, if all else fail, you cannot find the kit that you want, that you truly desire and you truly want it, then go online. Alright, so I hope that answer most of the questions. And of course, if you do have any other questions that you'd like to ask me, alright, feel free to leave a comment down below, or just drop me a text on Facebook or Instagram, or just put my handle right here. Alright, and then yeah, perhaps we can talk more and share with you more tips and tricks. In fact, hey, I am supposed to be the one that is asking for tips and tricks from all the koko out there. Koko means big brother. Alright, so yes, speaking of which, right, if you're watching this and you have any tips and tricks for me, alright, please leave them in the comment down below as well. And yeah, I would love to put it into practice in the next video. Alright, so on that note, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Derek, and I will see you when I see you. Till next time. Goodbye.